In Greek mythology, Achilles was a legendary hero and central character in Homer's epic poem, the Iliad. He was the son of Peleus, king of the Pythia, and the sea nymph Thetis. Achilles was known for his incredible strength, courage, and skill in battle. His most famous attribute was his invulnerability, except for his heel. According to the myth, his mother Thetis dipped him in the river Styx to make him invulnerable, holding him by his heel. As a result, his entire body became invincible except for the part of his heel where she held him. Hence the term Achilles' heel, which refers to a vulnerable spot or weakness despite overall strength. Achilles played a significant role in the Trojan War, fighting on the side of the Greeks. He was the Greeks' greatest warrior, known for his ferocity and prowess in battle. However, his story is also marked by his internal struggles, especially after the death of his close companion Patroclus, which leads to a significant turning point in the Iliad. Ultimately, Achilles himself meets his demise when he is struck in the heel by an arrow, guided by the god Apollo and shot by Paris, the Prince of Troy, during the Trojan War. This event marks the end of Achilles' life, but his legend lives on as one of the most celebrated figures in Greek mythology. While Achilles is celebrated as a hero renowned for his extraordinary strength and courage in Greek mythology, his narrative also serves as a poignant reminder of the consequences of human flaws. Despite his legendary prowess in battle, Achilles harbored notable shortcomings that ultimately precipitated his downfall. Delving into the facets of his character that contributed to his demise provides invaluable lessons for both ancient and modern audiences alike. By examining Achilles' flaws alongside his remarkable feats, we gain a deeper understanding of the complexities inherent in the human condition and the fragility of even the most formidable heroes. Lesson 1. The pitfalls of anger. Achilles' anger was indeed a significant shortcoming that led to questionable decisions. His first rage stemmed from King Agamemnon's unjust seizure of Briseis, a captive woman whom Achilles had claimed as his own. This act of disrespect deeply wounded Achilles' pride and honor, prompting him to withdraw from the battlefield and refuse to participate in the ongoing war effort. By allowing his anger to cloud his judgment, Achilles not only jeopardized the unity of the Greek forces, but also abandoned his comrades in arms in their time of need. His decision to prioritize personal grievances over the greater good ultimately contributed to the prolonged and devastating consequences of the Trojan War. When the Trojans began to gain ground in the battle, Agamemnon reluctantly agreed to send an embassy to Achilles, hoping to persuade him to rejoin the fight. The embassy offered Achilles a wealth of gifts and honors, but Achilles remained unmoved by their pleas. Instead, he allowed his close friend Patroclus to lead the Myrmidons into battle wearing Achilles' armor, hoping to bolster the Greek forces. Tragically, Patroclus was killed in the bloody fighting by Hector, the Trojan prince, who mistook him for Achilles. When news of Patroclus' death reached Achilles, he was overcome with grief and anguish. The loss of his dear friend plunged Achilles into a state of deep despair, fueling his desire for vengeance against Hector and the Trojans. The events surrounding Achilles' anger and subsequent actions highlight the crucial importance of managing our emotions, even in the face of perceived injustices or wrongs. Despite feeling deeply wronged by King Agamemnon's actions, Achilles' unchecked anger led him to withdraw from battle, causing further strife within the Greek forces. However, instead of escalating the situation, Achilles could have sought more constructive means of addressing his grievances. By finding alternative ways to resolve conflicts and grievances, such as through dialogue or mediation, individuals can prevent initial wrongs from escalating into more significant consequences. In doing so, they can promote harmony and cooperation, rather than perpetuating a cycle of anger and retaliation. Lesson 2. Price of revenge. Achilles was driven by his emotions, particularly anger and vengeance, which clouded his judgment and led him to make rash decisions. His rage at Hector for killing Patroclus consumed him, leading him to seek vengeance at any cost, even at the expense of his own life. Despite his mother Thetis' tearful revelation that fate dictated his death would soon follow Hector's, Achilles remained unwilling to let go of his desire for retribution. In their fateful encounter outside the city gates, Achilles and Hector engaged in a fierce battle that would seal both their destinies. With a decisive thrust, Achilles plunged his spear into Hector's neck, sealing his fate. As Hector lay dying, he made a desperate plea to Achilles, begging for the return of his body for proper cremation, a request that fell on deaf ears, as Achilles heartlessly refused. With his final breath, Hector uttered a chilling prophecy, foretelling Achilles' own demise at the hands of the Trojan prince Paris. This tragic exchange perpetuated a vicious cycle of anger, rage, and revenge, with each act of violence only serving to fuel the flames of conflict further. Even after Hector's death, Achilles remained consumed by his insatiable thirst for revenge. In a display of utter contempt, he subjected Hector's lifeless body to further mistreatment, tying it to his chariot and callously dragging it through the dirt as he returned to the Greek camp. Even after the funeral rites for his beloved friend Patroclus had been performed, Achilles' grief continued to torment him, driving him to further acts of cruelty. In a fit of furious desperation, he repeatedly circled Hector's body around the tomb of Patroclus, unable to find solace or peace in his relentless pursuit of retribution. This behavior, coming from a hero who had already claimed countless lives in battle, borders on the grotesque, highlighting the destructive power of unchecked rage and vengeance. In the culmination of his tragic journey, Achilles met his demise as prophesied, pierced by an arrow shot by the Trojan prince Paris. This marked the end of a vengeful hero whose path had been paved with countless acts of retribution driven by his inability to control his anger, rage, and thirst for vengeance. The poignant saying by Confucius, "Before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves," rings true in Achilles' story, serving as a solemn warning about the dire consequences that vengeance can bring about. Achilles' relentless pursuit of revenge not only led to his own downfall, but also perpetuated a cycle of violence and suffering that claimed the lives of countless others. In today's age, where conflicts and grievances abound, the wisdom of this ancient adage serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of unchecked emotions and the importance of seeking reconciliation and peace instead of revenge. Lesson 3. The case of a tolerated genius and effects of his pride. Achilles was acutely aware of his prowess in battle, recognizing that his skill with sword and spear often determined the outcome of conflicts. However, this awareness bred a dangerous sense of pride within him. Viewing himself as the ultimate authority, he allowed his emotions to dictate his actions, leading to clashes with figures of authority like Agamemnon and a stubborn refusal to fight even after an apology was offered. In essence, Achilles embodied the archetype of the tolerated genius, a supremely talented individual who struggled to cooperate with those around him. His pride blinded him to the importance of his role as a hero and leader, causing him to prioritize his own sense of importance over the needs of his comrades and the greater mission. Instead of rallying his fellow soldiers and leading them to victory as a cohesive unit, Achilles fought his battles on a solitary whim, ultimately undermining his effectiveness as a soldier and leader. This serves as a poignant reminder of the significance of teamwork and collaboration within any endeavor. No matter how skilled or talented an individual may be, success is often achieved through collective effort and mutual support. Achilles' downfall serves as a cautionary tale about the pitfalls of pride and the importance of humility and cooperation in achieving shared goals. Lesson 4. The cost of fame and glory. Thetis, Achilles' mother, delivered a prophetic ultimatum regarding her son's fate. He could either gain glory and perish in his youth, or live a long but unremarkable life in obscurity. Aware of the consequences, Achilles made the deliberate choice to pursue glory by participating in the Trojan War, fully understanding that he would never return home. This decision underscored the harsh reality that success and renown often come at a steep price. Achilles recognized the cost of fame and glory and willingly embraced it, knowing that achieving greatness would necessitate sacrifices. This profound truth resonates across time and circumstance, reminding us that the path to success is rarely without its challenges and sacrifices. In Achilles' bold choice, we find a timeless lesson about the inherent trade-offs of ambition and the inevitable sacrifices required to achieve greatness. Lesson 5. Complexity of human emotions. Achilles' character was a tapestry of complexity, revealing both moments of empathy and mercy, alongside episodes of unbridled rage and brutality. When King Priam approached him, humbly pleading for the return of Hector's body, Achilles showed a rare glimpse of compassion, granting the grieving father's request despite the enmity between their peoples. However, when consumed by rage, such as when his beloved friend Patroclus was slain, Achilles became a relentless and bloodthirsty force, driven by a desire for vengeance that bordered on brutality. His unchecked fury led him to engage in confrontations even with divine entities, such as the river god Scamander, whose waters were choked with the blood of Achilles' victims. In this state, Achilles embodied destruction, devoid of restraint or control. This pattern of emotional turmoil continued when Memnon, the king of Ethiopia, killed Antilochus, a close companion of Achilles who had filled the void left by Patroclus' death. Achilles' grief and rage were reignited, fueling a desire for retribution that knew no bounds. His response to this loss was marked by a ferocity that mirrored his earlier actions, highlighting the destructive power of his emotions when left unchecked. In these moments of turmoil and upheaval, Achilles' character reveals the complex interplay between empathy and rage, mercy and brutality, a dichotomy that defines his legacy as both a hero and a flawed human being. Lessons 6. The price of conflict and wars. The Trojan War, with its epic battles and the downfall of great Greek heroes, serves as a poignant reminder of the inherent dangers of warfare. While tales of valor and heroism may be immortalized in poems and literature, the harsh reality of war's devastation cannot be overlooked. Achilles, with his larger-than-life presence and complex character, embodies this truth with stark clarity. Despite his unmatched prowess on the battlefield and his status as a legendary hero, Achilles also represents the darker side of war, the unimaginable suffering, loss, and destruction it inflicts upon humanity. The Trojan War, though steeped in myth and legend, serves as a sobering testament to the catastrophic consequences of armed conflict. While the exploits of heroes like Achilles may be celebrated in epic tales, the human cost of war remains undeniable. Achilles, with his tumultuous journey and tragic end, serves as a poignant reminder of the profound toll that war exacts on individuals, families, and societies. In the end, the Trojan War stands as a powerful symbol of the enduring truth that war is, ultimately, a disaster of humanity, a truth embodied in the character of Achilles and echoed throughout history. Lesson 7. Death is the inevitable destiny for all. The story of Achilles casts a revealing light on the immutable truth that all men are mortal, regardless of their earthly blessings or divine gifts. Achilles himself was bestowed with extraordinary abilities by the gods: invincibility in battle, unparalleled strength, and immense wealth. Yet even with these advantages, Achilles met his inevitable fate on the battlefield of Troy. His story prompts us to ponder our own mortality and the legacy we wish to leave behind. In contemplating our own stories, we are compelled to consider the manner in which we confront our weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Like Achilles, we may possess strengths and talents, yet we are also plagued by imperfections and limitations. The question then arises: do we rise above our weaknesses and conquer them, or do they ultimately define us? The legacy we leave behind is shaped by the choices we make and the actions we take in the face of adversity. Will we be remembered for our courage in confronting our weaknesses, our resilience in overcoming obstacles, and our compassion in helping others? Or will we be defined by our failures, our shortcomings, and our inability to rise above our limitations? Ultimately, the story we leave behind is a reflection of the person we choose to be, a testament to our character, our values, and our aspirations. By striving to conquer our weaknesses, embrace our humanity, and live with integrity and purpose, we can leave behind a legacy that inspires others and endures long after we are gone. In the end, the story of Achilles and his downfall offers valuable lessons about pride, vulnerability, and the complexities of human nature. By examining the factors that led to his downfall, we can gain important insights into the human condition and the pursuit of glory. Achilles' story serves as a reminder that even the mightiest heroes are subject to the same flaws and limitations as the rest of humanity, and that true greatness lies not in feats of strength or prowess, but in acts of compassion, empathy, and humility.